So I've often said that when you're considering should I hire a lawyer, well, again, you have to look at what's at stake for you. If you have kids, I think it's super important that you speak with a lawyer, at least understand what the options could be. Now, whether or not you decide to have them draft everything for you, it's really worth at least a small investment of time to understand what might happen in your situation. If you have retirement accounts, these are complex things that are not that intuitive, and it's important that you understand how they impact your situation. If you have assets or debts, again, you might think that it's real simple that you just keep yours and they keep theirs, but it's not always that simple. And it's really important that you understand how your unique circumstances are going to be looked at by a court before you just take this on by yourself. You can't squeeze out all the toothpaste and then come to a lawyer and say, can you help me put this back in? Because quite frankly, it's messy and we're not going to be able to get it all back in. It's better to do it in the beginning, get some help before you even get started, and then you can decide what's the best path for you. When you're thinking about hiring a lawyer for a fair settlement, the real important thing is, do you understand what fair means? Does your lawyer understand what fair means? In Illinois, we're an equitable divorce state, which means what's fair under these circumstances. And that may be 50-50. It may be 60-40. It may be 70-30. The reality is we don't know what's fair in your situation until we evaluate everything. You see, if you don't understand the factors of how the court goes about dividing property, then you're at an uneven playing field. But if you understand the factors that the court considers, such as what you had before the marriage, what you have earning capacity, and what you're going to be able to do after the marriage. These are things that the court's going to consider and look at it and say, well, wait a minute, 50-50 doesn't make sense in this situation because one person has a significant advantage in one other factor that is not being evaluated. So when you're going through a divorce, you're often thinking about the short term, and it's important that you have somebody and have advice of counsel that can think both short term and long term before you sign those papers. So I just recently had somebody come to me that had hired a lawyer that was a friend previously, a family friend. Big mistake. This person was trying to do them a favor. They thought they were saving money, but it ended up costing them so much more in the long run because we had to spend months trying to undo what was already done. When you're looking at this, you want to make sure you're thinking both short term and long term. And let me just back this up by saying, I understand. You're scared, you're nervous. How do you trust somebody? You're going to talk about paying them thousands of dollars for a retainer and you don't know anything about them. Well, let's talk about what you should be looking for. Look for a law firm that handles divorce only. You don't want somebody that handles contract law or criminal laws and estate planning and also your divorce. In other words, they're going to court in the morning for a DUI case and they're trying to negotiate your divorce in the afternoon. You want someone that focuses on divorce law. There are a lot of complexities that go into divorcing a family in Illinois. Understanding all the nuances are very difficult, and you want someone that gets it. For example, income in Illinois is not what you think. Most people think of what's on your W-2s or your taxes. We don't treat it that way. There are other things that qualify as income that may not show up on your taxes. If you have an attorney that doesn't understand that, they're going to leave you in a bad position and you're going to hire someone later to try and clean up their mess. So if you're questioning as to whether you need a lawyer for your divorce case, I'll be very transparent. If you don't have children, you don't have property, you don't have retirement accounts, you may not need one. But if you have any of those things, please give us a call so at least we can go over your situation and give you our perspective of what we see so you can make a better decision for you.